Greetings and welcome to Ecology with Zikri. My name is Zikri Adit Punya, and in this short video I'm going to talk about the concepts behind habitat fragmentation. Let's go! So what exactly is habitat fragmentation? Imagine a big patch of land divided into smaller, more isolated patches of land. And in many ways, this is detrimental to the wildlife which lives there. Habitat fragmentation can happen naturally by biogeological processes such as mountain range formation and continental drift, and also it can happen by man-made factors such as habitat destruction for road construction and urban development. But we still haven't established why habitat fragmentation is bad for the wildlife living there. For that, we need thumbtacks. Okay, the first effect is the isolation effect. Imagine these thumbtacks are different species, and this block is the whole natural habitat. When an area is fragmented, let's say along this line, the amount of resources that are available to support the diversity of species are also reduced. But in this point in time, the habitats contain far more species than it can support. So what will happen is that in time, the number of species will decline until the population reaches the amount of species it can support in a process called species relaxation. So this illustrates that habitat fragmentation will cause a loss in biodiversity. The second effect is the edge effect. The edge effect is a result of the abrupt transition between two adjacent, significantly different ecosystems. This usually happens today due to deforestation or urbanization, and result in a sharp line between an open, barren or urban climate and a lush, cool and humid natural environment. Due to this sharp divide, the species that live in the natural environment could not adapt to the extremely different environmental conditions in the urban or deforested environments. This causes higher rates of endemism, which means species only existing in one specific area and can cause genetic problems, which I will get into later. Another problem that can arise from the edge effect is more dominant invasive species can arrive in a natural habitat from the more unhospitable habitats, which might decimate the native populations. Conversely, this can also cause wildlife-human conflict as wildlife would venture into urban environments. The third effect is genetic risk. Imagine that different colors of these thumbtacks represent different genetic varieties of the same species. As we know, smaller fragments can support smaller number of species and also smaller populations of a species. The smaller the size of a population, the narrower the genetic diversity available to fend off diseases or other external environmental threats such as predators. Thus, the species is more at risk of extinction. There is also the risk of inbreeding and amplification of the expression of detrimental genes, which reduce species fitness. So, how do we know all of this is happening? Phil Stauffer from the Louisiana State University led a research on birds for the Biological Dynamics of Forest Fragments project in Brazil and found that even narrow strips of deforested land can limit movement of forest-dependent species. This is coupled by the fact that another research by Dr. Cameron Rudd in the Amazon found that mixed flock species, which exist for protection against predators, have severely diminished or disappeared altogether due to habitat fragmentation. Many efforts have been made to combat the adverse effects of habitat fragmentation. One of the most notable ones is wildlife bridges. They are built across highways connecting two patches of habitat together. So this idea was first developed in France in the 1950s, and it took off in the Netherlands with more than 600 bridges being built to ensure survival, genetic diversity and smooth migration for the mammals there, such as elks and badgers. In the UK, Wildlife tunnels have been built for vulnerable and endangered amphibians, such as the great crested newt. This is to ensure that they have a safer route from their aquatic habitats to their foraging grounds, away from incoming traffic. Today, many forms of the wildlife bridge are common worldwide, with one even built in Malaysia in 2014. It is situated in Sungai U Pahang. Instead of a bridge, it is an eco-viaduct which allows animals to pass underneath the roads. It also connects two main areas important for tiger conservation, which are the main range and also Taman Negara. So, I've explained about the underlying concepts, effects, and also the efforts that have been made to solve habitat fragmentation. But what you guys, the audience, can do at home by signing petitions and joining campaigns, or generally being vocal about it, can pressure the government and non-governmental bodies to preserve habitat connectivity and also to carry out development responsibly. Remember to maintain social distancing and stay safe, stay curious.